Club motorsport in the United Kingdom is seen as one of the most interesting, competitive and exciting in the world. And for the remainder of 2021, I'm going to take you inside one of the UK's flagship organisations, the 750 Motor Club. We'll get to know the drivers, the cars and the tracks and let you know how you can get involved and go racing yourself. In this episode, we will focus on the 750 Motor Club Roadsport series. With 4 different classes, these mini endurance events give you the chance to enter nearly any club level racing car. It's a formula that's worked so well and the series is now one of the most popular in the UK. So let's get to know some of the drivers racing in Roadsports this season and their journey to getting into racing and why they're racing with the series in 2021.
I'm Sam McKee and I'm racing in 750 Motor Club's Roadsports series.
My name's Darryl Bennett and I race in the 750 Motor Club Roadsport series.
My father hill climbed bikes and I suppose I spent a fair few weekends of the year in paddocks, but never competing myself there, just at the level of wipe down and warm up sort of thing, you know. But it was always in there, and I think I loved cars so much because he loved bikes and thought cars were poxy, so that was like my alternative approach. But to be honest with you, I don't have that many childhood memories of motorsport, just of wanting to be involved and to do it. But it was gaming and things like that, you know, like playing Gran Turismo with your mates and that sort of thing, rather than, I was never at too many events as a spectator, really.
My brother played football as a kid, and then a parent of another child, her husband was a starter marshal at a local stock car track. So she said about taking us there for the day. So we went and it took me about one race. And then it was like, this is what I want to do. So there we were. And I think 2 months later I had a stock car sitting, kindly provided by my dad, sitting in the garage, and we went racing. Yes, it's good. Just the noise and the thrill of seeing cars at their limit, you know, just everything about it, the smells, it just stuck with me ever since.
In Roadsports, the class system gives you a great opportunity to race with a vast array of machinery. 4 classes, starting off with Class A Super GT at 300 brake horsepower per tonne, GT Class B will be at 240 horsepower per tonne, Class C Super Sport 180 brake horsepower per tonne, and finally Class D Sport 145 brake horsepower per tonne. As for some of the other regulations, parts of the suspension and braking regulations are free, but areas such as the pickup points have to be original. Gearbox type is also very open, but if you are running a sequential gearbox, you will have to serve an extra 10 seconds when serving your pit stop. Tyres are mostly up to you as long as they are on Motorsport UK's 1A, 1B or 1C list. And of course, for more details, be sure to check out the 750 Motor Club website. There'll be a link in my video description to find out more about the series.
Well, I've loved cars and racing for longer than I can remember. It's always been something that's appealed to me. But it wasn't until my mid-20s that I was working at Nissan, and they set up a sprint series, just the employees just hire a small circuit like Kerber or Blyton Park and do timed runs. But that sounds good, I'll enter that. Should probably get a car. So I bought this as a road standard car in 2014, did a few sprints and thought, actually this is really, really good fun, and I seemed to get on okay with it. So it just did more track days after that, more sprints, and then thought, actually what's needed to jump into circuit racing. And I was lucky to have a couple of friends who'd done racing for many years, sort of talked to them about what it takes to make the leap. It sounded at least a little bit attainable. So I thought, okay, I'll jump in. And over the winter of 2016, roll cage fire extinguisher turned it into a racing car and went out and did it, really.
Over the years, I've become a fan of like endurance racing, like World Endurance, Le Mans, that kind of thing. And I kind of see it as a nice step into endurance racing. It's very cost effective, you know, share the car, 45-minute races, multi-class, different speeds on track, and I just felt I'm going to get that experience without having to spend thousands, you know. So yeah, goes hand in hand. It's brilliant.
I thought, what would my car fit into? Because it's a 2.8 litre, fairly lazy engine. Capacity classes are no good, so I wanted the power to weight formula really appealed, because it means you don't need a highly strung engine to be competitive. I like the idea of longer races and multi-class. I'm not that into sprint racing sort of stuff. I like endurance racing, and this has that feel. And it meant I could share it with a friend. So I dropped a friend a message to say, do you fancy going racing? I did the first race solo, but after that I said, do you want to split it, share the cost, share the car? yeah, sure, why not? We can both afford to do it between us, but not solo. And Roadsports gives you that option with the enforced pit stop and the driver change. And the whole ethos of the club seemed really nice. The strapline is the home of affordable motorsport. I'm like, right, that's me. That's what I need. So I met them at the Autosport show, had a chat to the team, to James and Nicky and Giles, and it just seemed like it was welcoming and like it was something that I could really do. So I've been here, and I've been here for nearly every race since for 5 seasons. I think it's fantastic. And I think anyone who tells you they're not crushingly nervous before their first weekend is either fibbing or perhaps not thought about it too much yet. Maybe it doesn't mean as much to them as it did to me. But yeah, so many. I did a track day like 3-4 weeks beforehand where I drove the car and I just aimed to do a race stint, do the full 45 minutes at full pace, just to see whether I could do it, see whether the car stood up to it. It was a bit of a leap into the unknown, because on track days, with the best will in the world, you're probably only doing a 10 or 15 minute session, and you're never at 10 tenths the whole time because there's traffic, or you have to let people through, or you just cool the car for a bit and let your brain catch up. And in racing it's not like that. I wasn't sure what that leap would be like. And then I arrived at the circuit at Donington, and there was an M235i Racing factory car in the garage next to me. I thought, am I out of my depth here? There's all these lorries and stuff, and I've driven this car here, unloaded my tyres out of it, and I'm going to go racing. So no, it was properly jangling, and the assembly area is terrible. 20 minutes, I know you know, because you've done it with me. 20 minutes in the assembly area, just sort of looking at all the stuff around you. There's all these relaxed, experienced guys. I try not to do this now, just like wandering about without the helmets on, and you're like, flipping heck, I'm going to go and try and do some motorsport. It's really, really nerve-wracking, but I find always it dissipates the moment you drive the car out. As soon as the car starts rolling, the focus is on, and it's different entirely. It all melts away, and it's such a thrill to get out of that mode and into, okay, we're doing it now. I think that's really cool.
It's hard to put into words, it really is, but for me, there's nothing comes close to it. Nothing comes close when you are pushing the car to the absolute limit. And there are times when, you know, at Silverstone a few weeks back, I was sideways through cops, and you do feel, wow, this is scary, but when you get back, you just want to get plugged back in. It's, like I say, it's hard to put into words, but there's nothing quite like this.
The 750 Motor Club Roadsport series has become one of the most popular in the UK over the past few seasons, and after watching the racing myself, it's quite clear why. There is exciting, fair racing, and the format allows you to enter a wide array of cars while having the ability to split the costs with someone else. This year, the series will be racing at Silverstone National, Croft, Brands Hatch, Snetterton, Silverstone International, and then back to Snetterton for the season finale. And where possible, these events will take place over just one day. This significantly helps cut the cost for the competitors. So, what are the costs for Roadsports? You pay the £25 for the club membership, and then £90 for the yearly team registration. And then the entry fees are anything between £250 and £350. And if you want to buy a car yourself, competitive cars start from around £6,000. But of course you'll be spending a little bit more for the higher classes. But of course you can also build something yourself up from scratch, as long as it fits the regulations detailed in the Roadsports documents. And the style of these events allows you to share the costs with another driver, maybe a family member, a friend, a colleague, whoever. It allows to keep the cost down, which makes this series even more appealing. Something you'll notice throughout the 750 Motor Club paddock is that everyone is incredibly friendly. Staff, drivers, family members, everyone involved wants to chip in and make sure everyone has a good time out there on track. This is promoting a special social side to the 750 Motor Club that all of the Formula enjoy.
The variety is great because we've got, in my class, in Class C in Roadsports, today alone there's MX-5s, MR2s, a Clio, my E36, so people are making lap time in different ways. So even if someone punches in exactly the same qualifying time, when you race them on the circuit, you'll find there's some corners where they've got an advantage, somewhere you do. And then you go to a different circuit and the balance shifts again. So it's really, really different. And then it rains, it's different again. It keeps it interesting. So even if you're racing the same people, you're doing different things to try and get past them.
I think anyone can get in a car and think they're driving it fast. Like I did. I felt I was driving fast. And then Sam just started giving me instructions of don't brake until I tell you. And I could not believe the performance that the car's got. And I think when you find them extra 2 temps, it's magical. It really is.
our first win in Class C was very satisfying. That was last year at Snetterton with Neil Savage, who was one of the guys who talked me into going racing in the first place. It was his birthday, his home circuit, the first time he'd done that kind of racing, first time he'd driven the car even, and I was on the pit wall watching him win by a hair. The gap was tiny to Matt Creed's Clio. It was a real scrap, and he took the lead on the last lap, and that was fantastic. I was hoarse. Like, my voice sounds a bit gone now. Actually, I was hoarse after that, because it was just a stunning thing. There's no feeling quite like seeing your car come past a checkered flag. That's fantastic.
So as always, I'd like to say a massive thank you to the 750 Motor Club for allowing me to create this series. I'm looking forward to continuing on and delving into a few more series and championships over the coming weeks and months. A massive thank you to Sam and Daryl for the help with this video, it's very much appreciated. And also to John, who helped me out a lot with this filming. He'll be linked in our video description too. So with every championship and series I'm going to be featuring in these videos, you can follow the links in my video description to learn out a bit more, read the regulations and find out all of the contacts to get racing yourself with the 750 Motor Club. Look forward to seeing you soon. Thank you very much for watching.